Hey everybody, welcome back. It is another episode of Dadcast 2024. I am one of the hosts, JP, joined by other host Nick. Nick, how are you?
I'm good, man. It's been a while.
All right, good to see you, brother. Also, our man on location in Las Vegas, Mr. Jesse Dugas. How are you, sir?
I'm 60 floors up in a penthouse, buddy. It don't get much better.
Yeah, and you also did the proverbial, what seems like every damn time you're in Vegas, a text to me letting me know once again you got a hand pay when I've been on an 8-time losing streak. So, congratulations.
Thank you. Went and dropped my free play and paid for the trip already.
There you go.
If I stop now.
Yeah, but we know that's not going to happen.
Hey, I've got a conference the next 2 days, so my gambling window is today, so I'm pretty much done gambling.
That's a liar. You're a liar. There's time after the conference, and when you wake up prior to conference, we know how it goes. So just be careful.
There's a lot of casinos on the way to the barbershop too. So
well, yeah, I just got a text from Hopkins. He's like, "Hey, we're going to Old Red at barbershop tonight. We'll see you there." And I'm like, "Shit, dog."
You got to go. Say hi to Ben for me and all the boys. All right, let's get into it, man. Today's guest, man, we are stoked to have him. He is a member of the cast of MTV's The Challenge and a pretty awesome guy with, dare I say it, Nick, an even better beard than you. Please welcome Mr. Brandon Nelson. How's it going, brother? How are you?
Oh, man, I think you set the bar too high coming out the gate, but I will take it. No offense. But... yeah, listen, man. I'm still actually my beard was a little bit longer, but over the years I had to cut it, and I cut it all the way off, and I'm growing it back out now. But I get back pretty fast. All
right, we're looking good, man. So let me give you a little insight onto what Dadcast is. Obviously, we are dad-centric. We like to discuss the dad life, the beginnings, the present, the future, and everything in between. The first question we like to ask on here, it is a rite of passage on Dadcast. We already know the answer, but we're going to ask it anyway. Are you, in fact, a dad?
Absolutely, and it's probably the best and only thing I've done that's right in the world.
Nice. Now, you did say probably.
Boy. I'm sorry?
You did say probably.
Probably.
You said it was probably the best thing that's ever happened.
I'm a realist. They're only 5 and 6, so jury's still out.
All right, talk to us.
You're in the easy stages. Hit the hard stuff yet.
So talk to us. Boys, girls, how many? All that good stuff.
1 boy, 1 girl. It's kind of complicated, but they know who daddy is. I actually just got off the phone with my daughter. She's the youngest. She's 5 going on 6 on September 13th. And she can have a regular conversation with you. Like, I'll call her and say, "What's going on, Dad?" I'm like, "Man, you tell me. How was your day at school?" Well, we keep going over our times tables, but it's called multiplication. But I've already gotten through 5, so I don't know why we keep doing it. I'm like, you know what? Okay. Because she's just so straightforward and so smart, and I love it. And then my son, he's more just like, these new kids. I'm fine. I'm just playing my game. I'm like, oh. So
yeah, I got a 17-year-old dude. I get you.
Yeah. Hey. But I love them. When we have our conversations, it's always good. So actually, I'm leaving tomorrow evening to go. I'm flying to Cali to get my son and bring him back here for the rest of the summer, back to good old Arkansas. Because of course Nana wants him, my mom, and they have land, they have horses. Like, they love coming because where they are with their mothers, they don't get what I get down here, which is a big reason why I moved back.
That's awesome, man. So you guys, summer vacation is officially here. It has arrived. And we haven't done an episode for a few months. So there's been a lot of stuff I need to tell you guys that's happened in the world of JP. And Brandon, You're going to be a part of this because you're a dad and you're going to experience this one day, I'm assuming, because it seems like it happens to all of us. But the fight I've been having with my son, who's 13, going on 14. He'll be 14 in August, you guys. The fight in the mornings to get him just to get up, to go to school, has been literally the bane of my existence. And I can officially say, at least for 2.5 more months, man, the stress has been lifted. You know what time he gets up? 2 o'clock in the afternoon has been the average since summer vacation started, and we're 2 days into it, essentially. And I'm not even going to fight it.
And you got football going on right now, summer workout?
He starts this Friday, freshman football. He's going to be a freshman in high school.
So do they still do get you there at 5 a.m. and run you through it for 2 hours and make you come back at 3 in the afternoon when it's harder than hell?
Oh, there will be a hell week, yeah.
Yeah, those are called
Brandon,
I was going to say, a lot of people don't, I'm not the biggest guy in the world, but coming out of Arkansas, my high school, I don't know if you guys know who D'Angelo Williams is, but we played on the same all-star team coming out of Arkansas. He ended up going to Memphis. I went to Arkansas, and then he ended up playing at Carolina, and then ended up with Pittsburgh. But we talk every now and then. But I went to Arkansas. I should have gone to a smaller school, but when Arkansas calls, you go. But I played there, and those hell week or 2 days, I don't know if those kids do that. Well, I don't know, because they have all these regulations and things now for the younger ones versus the older kids, but
so I coach high school football. I'm an assistant coach here in Oregon. Well, I'm not in Oregon right now, but in Oregon. My soon-to-be senior son is the starting quarterback. No bearing on me. This is my first year back coaching. I've taken the last 4 years off, so he did that on his own. But it's in Oregon, the way that doubles work now is it's in August, and it's every other day for a 5-day period. So there's only 3 days of doubles now.
What?
And then they also track your hit time. So your practice is broken down by intensity, and you can only have 20 minutes of level 1 contact, 20 minutes of level 2 contact, and you have to structure it and report that. And so it's really
that's on the high school level.
It's at the high school level.
Is that for to stay safe, or is it to
it's really safe? Yeah.
Sensitivity issues, or what's happening here?
Well, we could
I don't know a nice way to say it.
I'm currently getting paid to coach, so I'm not gonna go there.
Okay.
But it's
I just remember our football coaches are like, "You're not here. You're not fucking playing."
Yeah, pretty much.
So JP was mentioning, the fact that Sawyer's not getting up until 2 and in the fight to get out of bed. So Zach, my 17-year-old, just finished a great baseball season, gonna go play collegiately somewhere. But he talked me. He took 4 AP classes, advanced placement, college level classes. He's like, "Hey, Dad, what do you think about me taking a lockout first period?" Which means that it's an off period. He doesn't have to show up. And I'm no. And he's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because you'll just use it to fucking sleep." No, I promise you, I will get up every single day. I'll use that period to do my homework, so I'll be on campus. There had to have been, 186 days of school this year, and I got 115 "your son is late to second period" emails. Because not only did I give in and let him have lockout, the little fucker didn't even wake up to go to school on time. And he got the first period off.
Dude, at least yours went to school. So my 16-year-old missed 120 days of school, right? His mom tells him, "That's okay. You're still going to graduate. You can still, if you don't feel like going to work at your job, you just tell them you're not feeling good and they're still going to have a job." I'm like, what world are we living in? What is happening here?
No, they call those mental health days.
2.5 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, it is absolutely maddening. It's like, how do they expect us as parents to?
So he just gets.
We don't get mental health days as parents. He got
a job at Red Robin, and he decides to go work. He has to go to work at 2:15 or whatever, and he's like, "Well, Dad, I had to be at work at 2:15." I'm like, "Cool, school gets out at 2. Go to school, then go to work." I didn't want to be late, so I didn't go to school.
The whole day?
I'm like, what?
He didn't go the whole day?
No, dude, he hasn't gone he missed almost his entire school year this year. Wow. And his mom is telling him that it is what it is. She went to school.
You guys,
he's still going to graduate.
You have no idea how much better I'm feeling right now, just for the record. I really, I always go back to me when I was younger, and if I put myself in the position that my kid's putting me in, it wasn't going to happen. You know what I mean?
I think the hardest part is it's like having his mom and I obviously aren't together, so trying to coach.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah, and having completely different ideas of how to parent a kid. Like she is off in her own little la la land, and I'm like, dude, if you're gonna get a job, man, you gotta like, it starts with school, showing up, putting in the time, being on time, getting the grades.
And I've been trying to press that with him when it comes to football.
Yeah.
I said, look, playtime's over, kid. Elementary school's done. Junior high, done. This is where it gets real. And if you expect to play football and want to play football, you got to get up. You got to get there. You got to put in the work. And, you still may, nowadays you might get a goddamn participation trophy, but you still got to friggin' get there and do, you know what I mean? And the big test starts this week, because I told him.
Like, fuck, mine are only 5 and 6.
And the point is, Brandon, with all this converation is, this is what's coming, man. This is what's coming.
But here's the issue, and I'll, I'm going to go ahead and say it just because, I'm sure I don't know if she will or not, but I don't give a shit at this point.
Hey, real quick. Yeah, I was going to say, you just heard Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. So I mean, we're not together, never be together. There's no disrespect and there's no love lost. But so to my son, full transparency, me and his mother weren't together and we had a son, and now we're here, and that's fine. We've been working through the past few years of how we're going to make this work, and that's all good. She's very attached to him. I've asked, he needs it. I'll get this. He needs his dad. He needs his dad. I want him to have the influence of you because you get things done. And I'm like, okay, well, just give him to me. But no, I can't imagine myself without my best friend. I was like, if your son is your best friend, you need to get out more. Like, come on. I was like, give him to me. But then when I have him, he's just very like, I mean, he's a mama's boy, and that's fine. Like he's 6 going on 7. Well, I say that because I don't want to, but for me at that moment, growing up in Jacksonville, Arkansas, and back and forth between Grapevine, which if you don't know where Grapevine, Arkansas is, it's probably a good thing. It wasn't any, oh, you're just 4, you're just 5, you're just 6. Let him go and he'll figure it. No, it's like, if you don't do this, go get a Switch. And if I don't like the size of the Switch, I'm going to go get one and you won't wake up till tomorrow. But when I get them, well, I was running track, but I don't even think I like it. Let me show you this video on the tablet that she's gotten him. And I'm like, all right. I look at the footage. The whole time she's screaming at him as he's running, and he's looking at her the whole time, and everybody's running by him. I'm like, no. She's like, go, go, go. And he's looking at her like, what do I do? But, that's a lighthearted, way to say that, as a dad, I want my boy. I am not so much worried about my daughter. I talk to her every other day, at least every weekend. But when I had to leave Vegas, it's because me and her mother, we were married and we separated. And for me to get things done, I couldn't be in that environment anymore. I'd been living out there for 13 years. And, all of a sudden you go from a house with dogs and your wife and your kid, and, sometimes your son's coming, and then just the emptiness just in like that. It's an adjustment, I'm just being all the way real, so, that idle time, it'll get you. So I just had to, for me to help anyone, my family, my friends, I have to help myself first. So I had to get out of there.
What about the environment was the problem, if you don't mind me asking?
Okay, so when I first moved there, it was all fucking shits and giggles, and because I moved there in 2011, and this is after like my second season, I believe, and it was on air. I moved to Vegas, and I'm working at all the clubs. I can walk into any strip club. I ain't that guy.
Yeah.
But because if you work at like one club, usually the clubs have like a blanket company that, this group runs these clubs, like right. Tao Group is Tao, Lavo, and Marquee. I used to work for them as well. And so then you get your Dre's that pops up, and then you get your other. So but if you know one host at one place and you say, okay, when you come to me, I got you. When I come to you, you got me. You can walk in anywhere you want to. Just make sure you have a suit on. So I'm doing all of that. I'm having a great time. And then I meet my soon-to-be ex-wife. She wasn't even living there at the time, but we're just keeping a long-distance relationship, and she had family there. But as I'm there, I'm doing okay, but I'm doing a little bit too much. Coming out of Arkansas, we just got a casino a few years ago. Sundays are still dry. You can't go.
Yep.
Yeah. So things like that. And just being there and having everything at your fingertips 24 hours a day after, I go into family mode, and I feel like I'm just giving my all, and it's not enough. Not to say that I was perfect. I'm not. It is not my wife's fault. It's not. It just didn't work. So I'm never gonna be the guy to be like, you bitch, you feel it. No. Yeah, I know my part in it. I wish we would have had more fight in us, but for my daughter's sake, I'm never gonna say anything negative about her mother. So it just didn't work out. And so after that, the easy thing to go to is what so I'm going back to the clubs. I'm gambling way too much. Back to Jesse. So one night I'm at Aria.
This guy can't lose, for the record.
One of my favorites.
I got to get with you then. This was before I moved back. This was right before I moved back, I should say, before my spiral. But when this might have been like 2012, 2013. Do you know about Casino War?
No.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
there's a big documentary about it, JP. Look it up.
All right.
Yeah, so they had just opened that game because you remember the club Hayes that was at Aria? It's not there anymore, but yeah. So
I went away like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, so I was hosting groups there. We had our own little tour bus thing. Like I was killing it, So we would take groups down there. We'd get them, a comp table, this, and that. As long as they tipped everybody, they were fine. That was the last stop of the night. I'm on my way out. I'm a blackjack guy. I stop. I put like 200 or 300 down on blackjack and lose it immediately. So I'm pissed. I have like $60 left in my fucking cash anyway. And I'm like,
you're not playing by the rules.
No. Well, no, I was, and that's the thing, because I'm still fresh. Like I'm playing by the rules, and I'm getting fucked. Like some nights I would be okay.
Yeah.
But so check me out. So I have $60 cash left to my name, and I'm walking by, and I'm like, don't go to the ATM, because that was my thing. It was like the cash in my pocket is what I'm gonna come and leave with, and if I don't have more, I'm not going back to the ATM. I have $60 left. I see this game playing. The lady goes, "You can't just stand here and watch. Are you gonna play or not?" Yes, ma'am. I sit down, put my money out, and she explains the rules. I'm like, it's just like the game War. And she's like, yeah. I did not lose a hand for 6 hours.
Damn.
Guess how much I walked out with?
15 grand.
What was your bet?
I started off with $60. I just put the 60 out. I won that. I won
So
that.
what was the table minimum?
1,000. No, no, I'm not gonna lie and say I didn't lose a hand. At the end, I lost like 5 in a row and came up 3. But
so what'd you walk away with?
Walked away with 20.
Dude, you have a problem. Yes, I walked away with 20. I did the math that quick as I guess 20. Yeah. So yeah, walked away with, like, literally. I'm like, I've never seen that much cash in front of me. So they take me to the cage and whatnot. Of course. At that point, you got the prostitutes. I don't know. They're not escorts at the time.
The working girls.
Yes,
Jake,
the working.
Be quiet. We're not telling that story again.
Ladies of the night.
Yeah, we'll get. Oh, I want to know now. So they're following. Hey, and they're trying to. I'm getting the comp room and all this shit. Oh, we heard you're gonna be upstairs if you want the company. And I thought about it, and I was like, no. I literally got my money. I had them put it in a little bag. I told this guy, I was like, if you just walk with me to the fucking taxi line, I will, because I was too drunk to fucking drive. I was like, if you just give me, I'll give you $100 right now. And big dude, and he was like, shit, nigga, come on. I'm gonna cut that. Sorry, but he was like, come on. So he, stuffed me in a taxi, gave him his money. I'm out. I didn't wake up till like noon the next day, and I'm like, oh man, I'm hungover as shit, going to my pockets, and I'm like, wow. So, but because of that, once you get to that point, nothing's ever enough.
Uh-huh.
You hear that, Jesse?
Well, no. So, I mean, today I get here.
He won close to that a couple months ago on a friggin' slot, for the record.
No. Oh, on a slot?
So I get free play, which doesn't convert the table. right? So I take my free play. I go into the high roller room. I'm running $15 bets, and I had done really well. I had saved my free play for the end. And so when I was here working marketing for the Super Bowl for Jim McMahon and his event. And so I'm here. It's the night of the Super Bowl. I just gotten back from John Orlando's house watching the Super Bowl. And I walk into the high limit room. I drove from Oregon because it was a last minute thing. I couldn't get tickets. And I'm like, man, I've had a pretty good trip. I've got this $1,000 profit for the entire trip. I'm going to take it to the high limit room and I'm going to run it with my free play, which makes my free play, it makes my budget 1,500. And I'm about 12 spins in and I hit an 18.5 jackpot.
Damn.
And then walked over to the blackjack table and put $1,000 cash, played for 2 minutes, got up 2 more grand, went, packed my shit and left.
Yeah, hey, smart man.
So,
Smart man.
Yeah, and it's my fault. All this is my fault.
Hey,
and then,
well, listen.
So JP, we play the same machines, and he was at the same hotel playing the machine I won today. And so my room wasn't ready. So because my room wasn't ready, I decided I was going to go play my free play. So I went and threw a $100 bill in the machine because free play just keeps rolling it up. And it's when I walked out, it was close to a $5,000 jackpot today.
Crazy.
So
and meanwhile, I've gotten wrecked
talk.
every time I've gone the last like 8 times. It doesn't matter what I do, what strategy I employ, what game I choose, small bets, high bets, $500, 1,000, it wrecked. And
so I will say this trip is costing me about that. I'm here for a marketing convention. The ticket to get in was $1,500.
Yeah. We just paid for that.
Well, I did lose a couple $100 at the blackjack table before running up here. So I'm
all right. I'm gonna take us off the rails. Tell us about the latest
off the rails. You want to put us back on, bro?
I want to put us back on the rails.
Okay,
yeah,
kind of good.
Whatever.
Hey, I was with Nick when he gambled once.
Yeah, and then I almost died. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, how was the latest season of the challenge? Like they had Cara Maria came back.
Yeah, and it was, so for me, it was bittersweet. Like, I mean, I was absolutely honored and excited to get back on because I hadn't been on in so long. So
right.
But at the same time, they were still reaching out to me a little bit. So after I did, what was that? Free Agents. That was my last one. And so it was like a 10-year gap, but they did call a couple times. They were like, would you be an alternate? And I'm like, yeah, sure. You don't, in this, just crickets. You don't hear anything. And I'm like, all right. So you go back to real life. Then I start hearing these, little rumblings of, the Godfather, Mark Long, that he's trying to develop this. It was supposed to be called the Challenge OGs. Right. And he did reach out to me. He reached out to a lot of people, he reached out to, people that have done it, over 5 times or, fan favorites or, put out a poll. Who would you like to see back? And it kind of caught on. So he pitched it and they bought into it. And then it became All Stars because they didn't like the OG's name. So now we move into All Stars. And I'm like, I got a second chance at this shit. So I'm like, all right, bet. Because he's really making me think. Because, I mean, like me and Mark talk. Like, I'm not one of the ones where I'm like, well, me and Mark talk and we just talk to social media. Like, I got this Giants number. So like I can just text him and be like, what's up with this shit? And he was like, nah, man, I got you. One goes through and I'm like, all right, because of the people that were on the cast of one, I mean, I'm not in that tier, as far as like OGs and, fan favorites and just the nostalgia of it, so I'm not mad about it or whatever. So then I get a call for All Stars 2. We got you on the list. We really like you. We really want you. Got some new people in production. You're going to be an alternate. But because here's the silver lining, because it was during COVID, the alternates have to be on site. Because before, if you're an alternate, then they'll just give you a call. You're sitting at the crib. But you got to fly out with the cast as you're an alternate in these circumstances. So I'm like, all right.
That way you can quarantine and shit with them.
Yeah, because it's easier to just pick me out of the hotel if something goes wrong with it. Somebody in the house, and you just drive me an hour down the way and we're good. So I'm like, all right, bet. So it was me, Emily, Jimmy, Cyrus, Leah. Leah and Melinda got picked up like the 3rd day we were there. And I feel like I'm missing somebody and I'm going to get shit on, but I don't care. So anyway, so we get through that, and I'm like, all right, I'm back on the radar. And there, basically, I was just getting, word that, hey, if you were an alternate and you were already on site for All Stars 2, you're gonna be on 3. And I'm like, hell yeah. I'm telling my wife, I'm like, look, I'm finna get back on. It's just, blah, blah. I know you haven't, because as she's been with me, the only time I left was to do the alternate thing. That was only for like 2 weeks, though. So I'm like, I said, but it's gonna help us out. I'm gonna get a decent check. It's not a lot, but if I can make a couple of months in a couple of weeks, then while not. So, 3's like, nah, we're good. Fuck. So then things transpire. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I feel like I've talked about this way too much because I don't want to sound like a bitch or like I'm whining about it. I'm still dealing with it, but in the span of man, a short amount of time. My dad dies in my arms. I get in 2 wrecks, one of which almost kills me, and my wife's like, I'm done with this shit. I can't handle it anymore, and I'm out. And I was like, all right, hey, cool. What else? What else? So now it's me in an empty house, and I'm just like, all right, let me get my shit together. And you go through that, it's still up and down, it's still waves. Some people, the waves are higher than others, but it's a talk for another time. But you have to go through it. And then when you're sitting there by yourself, you really get to self-evaluate. Like now you're doing inventory. What did I do to contribute to this? So after a lot of that, getting to a good spot, I'm still seeing my daughter throughout the week. And so, that really, helps. And then I get a call. Do you want to be on All Stars 4? Of course. But what are we doing? Because I'm usually really nice when I get a call. I'm just thinking, you got some people that are on the show. They're like, I'm not doing this unless so-and-so's on the show or unless I'm getting this. I'm just like, look, if I'm not going to be on it, I'm just tell me. I don't want to be in limbo anymore.
Right.
The answer is yes. All right. We'll get back with you. So I'm just assuming I'm an alternate. And I'm like, whatever. I go home for Christmas. I come back, and then I go back out to Vegas. And then as I'm on my way back to Vegas, I get a call. Hey, you're on. Like, you're on main cast. You're not an alternate. And I'm like, oh, man. So I had literally like 2.5 weeks to
get ready.
As I've been just binge drinking for.
That was my next question. How do you prep for it? Like if you haven't been on for so long.
Well, in those 2.5 weeks that I, just basically just sweated out every day. I literally turned my heat on. Like I had my heat on just full blast because this was like what, January of that year that we left. So it was like late December. Oh yeah, it was like because we left on January 13th, 14th. But anyway, I just kept my heat on. That way, I was just sweating. I would just be in there walking around butt naked, slipping on my hardwood floors, just trying to get ready. But as far as getting ready, it's in my years of doing it, it's more about the stamina and the endurance. If you're going to outlast somebody, it'll be set up for you to get through something. Like if you can't win a daily, like a daily challenge or something like that, it's probably going to have more to do with early on anyway, depending how big the teams are, or who's your teammate, and all those intangibles. But if you can outlast somebody, that's going to get you out of getting voted into elimination more so than not. And then you really rolling the dice if you get voted in, because you don't know if it's going to be physical, you don't know if it's going to be a puzzle, you don't know if it's going to be outlasting somebody again. But if I was a betting man like I am, you too, Jesse, I would lean towards the stamina and the endurance.
Okay.
Yeah, like you can, because a lot of times, because there aren't any restrictions. I don't want to say too much about where I'm going, but you guys might get it. There aren't too many. We don't get tested for certain things. We only get tested for drugs and STDs and things that might kill us. But we don't get tested for other things that might make you look good on TV.
Okay,
I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
I want to back you up. Oh, sorry, Brent. I want to get this question out before I forget about it because I feel it's important. Do you think that the challenge you went through in life that you just described, that pretty shitty time period of your life, do you think your experience on the challenge helped you, like mentally, while going through that?
So you kind of putting the inverse on it. So you're saying my experience on the challenge helped me get
Through the challenge.
Like that.
Yes.
Okay. That's a really fucking interesting question. I like
Way
that.
to go, JP.
Yeah.
It's what I do, guys. Come on.
Yeah, that's really it's very layered. Thinking about it though, because I'm very long-winded, I don't want to be, but thinking about it, because the first thing I thought about was how I even got on the show. Because my father, God rest his soul, he was like, you're not going to be on TV. You're going to climb it, because he worked for the Attorney General's office. He was a law education instructor for that, developed his own program called Smart Choices, Better Chances. And to this day, actually in a couple of weeks, I have to go every summer, go present somebody with a scholarship in his name for the RSO office. It's a lot. But he told me, this is not what we do. You're never going to get on TV. And then when I did try to get on, he was right. I made it all the way to the final casting to be on The Real World Cancun. And they said, we really like you, but no. And then I got on Fresh Meat 2, because they called back and they were like, we like you now. So would you like to be on the challenge? And I was like, yeah, of course. And so I go in there like with a chip on my shoulder. But now that you mention it, I mean, those things can kind of intertwine, because, once I did get on, now he's like, he would never admit to being a fan, but he would be like, man, I was watching that show, man. Those pussies on there. Like, why are you being so fucking nice? Like, all right. But thinking about it, and because I'm wheels are turning as I'm speaking. That's a really good fucking question. Yeah. As far as kind of stepping back and taking accountability for how you contributed to what's happening at the time, in a sense, yes. I don't want to give the challenge that much fucking credit. I'd like to give my experience, before that, with my family, because that's a whole nother series of events. But yeah, I mean, and then even with being on the challenge, I can kind of use those things to help me out. I mean, in my older age, I do it more now, but early on, I was just trying to run through walls. But yeah. Had you prepped me with that question, I would have had a better answer. But fuck me.
We don't prep here, baby. It's all flying by the seat of our
too Hollywood,
pants.
man. I just did an interview with Parade Magazine. No, I'm fucking.
Well, what's your son think about you being on the challenge?
Oh man, he doesn't. Man, see, my daughter knows exactly what's going on. My son's like, why are you so loud? It's because your
Come on, Mom.
Because your mom gives you affirmations in the mirror every morning, and she tells you you're not wrong, even when you're screaming at her about licking your ice cream. This guy had a full-on meltdown, stage 5, because I don't care if she's gonna get mad. The kids are kids, it's fine. She called me on the way home one day, and they're in California. At the time, I was still in Vegas at the time. And she's like, just listen to this. And I hear, why would you do that? That's mine. And she turns the camera around, and he goes, Granted, I've never touched this kid in his life. And she's like, well, and she goes, well, the only way you get away with how you talk to him and your looks is because your voice is so deep. And I'm like, girl, stop. So then I'm like, you don't yell at your mother. We go through that, and I lay into him or whatever. But I'm like, I have to do that. Well, I don't have to do it that much anymore, because this last summer, it was the first time I had to. Because I even asked her, I said, look, from where I was growing up, I was like, but you on this whole, affirmations and great rising king and whatever the fuck else. So I'm like, okay, with that being said, I was like, what's going on with the discipline? Because because I'm ready to just knock him out. And then she's like, well, I've spanked him before. And I was like, okay, great. And I hang up because he's with me last summer. So I go, Max, come here. because he was acting up and he got into a fight with his cousins or whatever. I was like, so your mom has spanked you before? Yeah. I said, well, what does she spank you with? So she has a belt. I was like, well, what does it look like? And he's like, oh, I saw one in Auntie Bree's room, my sister. So because we're at her house. We go in there. It's a cloth, like cotton. And I'm like, oh God.
It ain't a belt.
I was like, all right, no big deal. As I'm laughing at him, this is like the second week he's there. So he gets in trouble again. I was like, okay. Because I make him do wall squats. He hates them. I'm like, you got to do wall squats until I get tired. And then he kind of got over that. And I'm like, okay, Saquon. Okay, you should go, Saquon. You should have all the big thighs. Okay, this is what I'm going to do different. Come here. But then I'm like, know what? No. And he's like, he goes to me, he goes, I say, I don't want to do this because he smacked his little cousin. Her name's Atlas. She's a girl, and she's 3, and he's 5, and he smacked the shit out of her. So I'm like, no. What we're gonna do is you're gonna get a spanking today, and I hate to do it because it's gonna be really bad because I'm not your mom. And he goes, well, I'd rather do that than wall squats. Can we just get it over with? Oh yeah, game on, baby, game on.
And then when we're done, you're doing the wall squats for the record.
No, but he's thinking belt.
Yeah, that's the belt.
He's getting all of this, all of this. And man, when I tell you, he had a good night's sleep that night. But yeah, these new kids, I don't even know how I got to that. But no, the kids, they're great. It's just hard because, especially with my daughter, I was so used to being with her from the day she was born, and then it's been like a year that I haven't had consistent, touch. But we talk all the time, thank God for, video and all that good stuff. And then with my son, because that wasn't a planned situation prior to me and my daughter, then we're getting more acclimated to each other. But his mom is all for it. Like, she's like, he needs a man's, influence. And I agree with her with that, but just stop saying Grand Rising when he wakes up.
I emphasized with you, man. I was literally wondering, this is, a few weeks ago, going back to talking about my son and getting up, I was wondering, as I was beating the shit out of my son, how much trouble I was going to get in with, society and law. And, it's like, should I be doing this? I probably shouldn't be doing this. I'm going to get in trouble. This isn't the 80s or 70s anymore. And I finally stopped. And, Kegel, anyone who's freaking out right now.
Have to cut that whole section out.
No, listen. I'm not lying, but I'm not totally telling the truth either. Just put it this way.
I haven't seen Sawyer around in a while.
Dude, he's like this much shorter than me now.
Yeah, he hasn't texted me any computer questions. Where's Sawyer?
Dude, you know what his big thing is right now? You want me to go get him? Sir! Maybe he'll come out and make an appearance. Maybe he'll come and say, hey.
Proof of life.
Hey!
Get him in here.
You little prick, come here!
Hey, so I, Sawyer's coming. I have a 6-year-old as well. So I have a 22-year-old that just got out of the Army. Got a 17-year-old. I've got a 6-year-old. Those are all boys. And I've got a 4-year-old little girl. So Nick and JP, I know, saw the Facebook post, but so my 6-year-old has figured out that he can avoid getting in trouble if he lies, and so that's been the big one right now. Yeah. No, you ain't in trouble for your action; you're in trouble for your reaction of lying.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, but it's my 4-year-old beautiful princess of a daughter that had gorgeous blonde hair down to her butt.
Oh,
a haircut. Days ago, with a pair of scissors.
Oh, it was.
It
wasn't bad.
How's Mama doing? Is she okay? If she
not happy, dog. Well, hey, I'm in Vegas for a reason.
I told her it was your fault. Like, your daughter just wanted to look like you. That's all.
Oh man, did you see her comment? It's too soon, Nick.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, oh.
I'm gonna text him. He's literally probably 20 feet that way, but. Man. He's
So I have 7 kids. I have a 1-year-old.
Liar. He has 87 kids.
I don't.
At least.
Anyway, my 4-year-old and my 1-year-old. My 4-year-old has learned to blame everything he does wrong on the 1-year-old now. So he'll be walking around. Stuff will happen. Oh, Sophie did it. Dude, I just watched you. So instead of like the whole spanking him thing, we're learning the we taught him about consequences, and that's actually been working really, really well.
Come back.
So, like, he wants to go swim at his uncle's house, and I'm like, okay, you've lost that for the day. You are not going to do that now. And after a couple hours of nope, we're not going, he gets it, and its attitude changes, and so I'm lucky it's working right now, but I guess it's probably gonna change again next week, and we're gonna have to go back to the
Nick, time out. I'm sorry. Hey, I'm going to tell my son when he comes out here, Brandon, that you're Ezekiel Elliott, okay? I'm just going to fuck with him. Okay? Hey, come here, dude. I want you to meet someone. You got to come here. Now, before you go stand off screen for a sec, if I say the words Ezekiel Elliott, what is that? What do you think of? You think running back right off the bat? No, you were right. Come say hey. This is my son, Sawyer.
Hey, what's going
Come
on,
here.
Sawyer? How you doing?
What up, Sawyer?
Oh, he's so good right off the bat. That's not Ezekiel Elliott. No, man. This is our buddy, Brandon. He's on the TV show The Challenge. We were just talking about you, and I wanted to. Nick and Jesse actually wanted to see you.
We wanted to make sure you're still with us.
Still alive, and he's like super tall, and there's like fur growing right there on his upper lip. It's amazing.
I think we're okay.
All right, get out of here. I love you.
He's gonna make it. All right.
Yeah.
But no, but the thing
He knew
is,
right off the bat. What the hell?
I know, man. He didn't even.
I figured the beard would have,
No, these kids, they're more exposed to all this than we are.
Oh, man. Dude, you ask this kid anything football, it's nuts.
Yeah. No, okay. Well, let me ask you this. What's your team? And then I'll tell you my.
That was my next question, man. That was my next question. I'm a Raider fan. Las Vegas, baby.
Okay. Well, were you a Raider fan before?
Born and bred. Oakland to LA, LA back to Oakland to Vegas. It's Raider Nation. Unless, of course, they move to Denver or Kansas City or San Diego, then fuck them. But no, I'm a Raider fan.
Hey, I'll go ahead and go one step further. Fuck the Raiders.
Hell yeah, whatever, Charger fan. He's a Charger fan. How can't we all agree to say fuck the Chiefs? Jesse, come on.
Fuck the Chiefs.
Okay.
Except I really like Patrick Mahomes. I really like Kelsey, and I'm okay with Taylor Swift. So I don't know, man.
I'm okay with all of them except when they're playing the Raiders or any other team for that matter. Who's your team, Brandon? Let's go.
Taylor's hidden belly.
Well, I tell you, man. Okay, so I'm born and raised I was born in Morrilton, Arkansas, raised between Jacksonville and Little Rock and Grapevine.
So Cowboy fan? You're right there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely. And guess what? I went to Troy Aikman's camp. I went to Emmitt Smith's camp. I went to Jay Novacek's camp.
Brother.
And I went to Deion's camp when he played with Dallas.
Oh, come on, Deion. Listen, I want to tell you something. I am I don't want to say closet Cowboy fan, but if I've got a big problem with people who say, I got a problem when people say, oh, I've got two favorite teams. It's like, by definition, what you're saying is wholeheartedly wrong. But if I were to be one of those types, the Cowboys are my other team. I'll tell you why. As a child, I grew up in Thousand Oaks, California, and if you are a true Dallas Cowboy fan, you know what I'm talking about. They, in the Landry years, played and did spring training or summer camp at CLU, California Lutheran University in Thousand Oaks, California, and my dad took me there every single offseason. Too Tall Jones used to carry me around on his shoulders. I played catch with Danny White, and dude, I got me love for the Cowboys. Lester playing the Raiders.
Where's Jerry Jones from?
Huh?
Where's Jerry Jones from?
I don't know where Jerry. Oh yeah, Arkansas.
Where's Jimmy Johnson?
Jimmy G. You know, I'm going to his restaurant tomorrow. By the way, I'm going
not Jimmy G.
Jimmy
Johnson.
I know Jimmy Johnson. I'm going to his restaurant in Key Largo tomorrow, man.
Oh man, make sure they wash their hands.
So you ain't joining me in Vegas.
Oh, bro, yeah. So, okay, then we could spend the rest of our time talking football, man. We could. That'd be great.
I'm sorry.
But no, that's fantastic. Jesse, I'm unfortunately not gonna be able to make it to Vegas because I instead booked a flight to Hollywood Beach, Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, dude, you are not hurting my feelings one bit. I do not want your luck anywhere around me, son.
Well, isn't it my luck that I gave it all to you?
Yeah, I don't want you taking that shit back.
Come on, brother. I need it, but I need a little bit of that shit back because there is a Hard Rock Casino in Fort Lauderdale. Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, though, I could see me and Brandon hanging out in the near future, though.
Yeah, definitely. I have to get back to Vegas anyway because I got to come see my daughter. So I'll let you know.
It's an hour and 20-minute flight for me, dude. It's super simple.
From where to where?
To Vegas.
Oh, yeah. And now it's free for me. And by the way, Brandon, I got to tell you this because this is the first time I can ever say this on the podcast, you guys. As if having a podcast, working a full-time job, having a side gig, and owning and running a radio station wasn't enough to keep me busy and being a dad, I decided to add fifth option of work into my repertoire. And I no, it's Lonely Fans for me. But actually, that's Nick's job. That's his joke. I work at the airport now. I got a gig doing ground crew for one of the airlines here. The pay is shit. The hours suck. But the benefits, baby, that's why I'm working there. Free flights worldwide, wherever they travel. And I had a week off this week as we speak. And my lady is actually in Florida right now doing something with a family member. And I'm flying out there tomorrow, and I'm going to bring her tacos, and she has no idea. I think she does know because I posted something. Yeah.
You did. Well, and that's the right move anyways. You and I talked yesterday, and I know why she's there, and it's the right move.
Yeah, totally. And then she leaves Wednesday, and I got the rest of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to do my thing in Hollywood, which you let me free and go solo. It's dangerous.
You had mentioned OnlyFans. If you're looking for Nick Martin's OnlyFans, it's I'm 2 inches, not talking about my penis at OnlyFans.
Wow, Jesse.
Oh,
way to go, man. You have taken the role of me and assumed it so well. Like,
I love it.
You have just acclimated.
I can't even. I wish I was making OnlyFans money though.
That's what I said. You're making Lonely Fans money.
Yeah, I have like.
You need to use some of that luncheon meat, make it look a little bigger, son.
All right, you guys ready?
Oh, you took it back. Luncheon meat? Wow.
Reeling it back in.
Gotta get out of that tax.
Reeling it back in. I got it. Okay, so we're getting close to the end of our time. I want to get some more important questions in here. Although I love making fun of Nick, we could do that and talk about football for the next hour. But
it's easy. It goes right over his head.
What, football or making fun of me?
All of it.
Both.
He does. Tomorrow, you'll be driving, working, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's what they meant by that." You'll see. It's fine. Anyway, were you there for the birth of your children?
No and yes.
Okay, so for the yes answer, were you in the room?
Oh, absolutely.
Can you
I was holding her ankle up.
Nice. So take me back with the emotions of that day.
Oh man, so at that time, you don't even want to know the real story.
Yes, we do. If you talk like that, you goddamn right we do.
We do. Come on, Brandon.
Fuck me. Okay.
There's a clip right there.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of this company called?
You can't even get it out. This could be great.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. All right. Have you ever heard of this company called Primerica?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm in like one of my last classes because I'm really buying into this shit, and then they baited me in because a couple of the people knew me from the show, and they covered. Hey,
this is my daughter Avery. Keep going, man.
How you doing, Avery?
She can't hear us, so.
Okay, they covered my my fee to get in or whatever, and they're like, we know he can get so many people and blah blah blah. So as I'm doing this, I'm like, I got to go to this last thing to get my certification to take the test. I mean, like the insurance part of it when you get certified is a real thing, and whatever. But then, so that's happening while my wife is like, okay, it could be any day now. It's like, all right, but I'm gonna change our lives with this Primerica job. So I gotta just one last class. So as soon as I leave the class, I'm getting calls from her mom's there, she's there, everybody, a couple other people are there, and they're like, you need to get here. And I was there for maybe I was there for a few hours. It wasn't like a last minute, run through the airport Home Alone thing, but I got there and everything was cool. And, her mom, Elvie's great. And she was just like, okay, glad you made it. And then, stuff started happening. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if this is just like a normal thing for all births. There's just a lot. I didn't know there's so many different colors of fluid.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yes, it is.
Oh.
My daughter, the one you just saw, she came out looking like a purple Chinese girl, but old, like a Benjamin Button. And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you just saw her, and she turned into that. Everything's
And
fine.
you're like, can we put it back? Can we just
And
this isn't mine. Like,
her
oops.
umbilical
C-section's no different.
Yeah.
Nasty.
and her umbilical cord was like crazy pretty. It's
like
weird
a
to
fucking
say.
rainbow.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like a candy cane, purple, red, and white, and we still have it in the freezer. We're supposed to bury it and go build a tree, but it's been 11 years later, and we still
That's
haven't
like
done it.
serial
But
killers, dude. What the fuck?
Are you being serious?
I'm dead serious, man.
It's still in the freezer?
It's still in the
Go get
freezer.
it.
Avery's
Go get
umbilical
it.
cord. You okay?
Get
I'll
it.
go get it.
Go
Go get it.
Go
No,
get
go
I'll be right
get
back.
it.
Go get
Hey.
it right now.
Yeah, no, I need to see that shit. You talking about if you're gonna throw that Hail Mary right now, then no, we're not
Yeah.
bypassing that. There's no just
Yeah.
skate by that.
If he
little
comes back
snack.
with a fucking like lollipop or something, I can't find it.
He's like, oh, here's a licorice. It looks just like it though.
Yeah. It was similar to this.
Like, yeah, no, we don't need reference. We need the real thing.
Oh, this is gonna be so nasty.
Oh,
Hey, yo,
man.
Jesse, while he's running around, let me ask you a quick question about the gambling situation. So, okay, what's the most you've profited? What's the most you've won in one night, and what's the most you've lost in one night?
Lost 2,000, profit 20.
Oh man, you're so much better than me. Well, I lost 5, but that was the one time I took somebody's advice and bet on sports, and I'll never do it again.
Oh, dude, my sports betting, I sports bet. Football is the only sport, and it's like $1 a game. It's not. I don't go big. Look, this is the thing. I only gamble. I make sure I budget and extend
Yeah, I
that.
had no idea what that
Bitch from the
meant.
challenge wants to challenge me. Fuck. Here we go.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Did you just order it off of Amazon? It looks like it.
All right. Oh look, there's a Cheerio stuck to the bag.
You got it off of DoorDash.
All right. First
It's
of
a-
all,
It's a Walmart fucking delivery.
let me show you the
When's the
bag.
last
Let me
time
show
this
you the
was
bag. Okay. Where were my kids born, you guys?
Ashland
Ashland
community.
okay.
All right.
We're doing this right now?
Oh God, I haven't. This is an 11-year-old frozen umbilical. It looks like a freaking liver.
Gross, dude.
All right, let's see.
Okay.
Oh fuck. Why?
There it is.
No.
It just looks like a frozen chunk of meat at this point. But
No,
you-
How
I mean,
come it's
that's-
so fucking
I
big?
feel like we're like watching a real life Hannibal
Because
Lecter. right
it's
now.
like it was big and
the
it's.
size of a tri-tip.
Yeah, I think you're full of shit, dude. It does look like a tri-tip.
It says save. Look at biohazard.
And you're just touching it with those bare hands. All right, I mean,
Yeah.
it's your DNA.
It's triple
fine.
sealed.
I
Yeah,
mean-
and it's total. I'm holding a part of me right now.
Yeah.
Hey, I am not calling you out on not being not that, but that's freaking gross as shit.
No, it is it, dude. I swear to God. And now that I've reminded myself of it, I think it's due time that we do what we plan to do with it. And
And grill it up.
no, what we
No,
do,
you should just keep it for 12 more years and give it to her as her wedding gift. For
There
fuck's
you
sake,
go.
give it to her, my future son-in-law. Hey, dude,
Yeah.
here's your wife's umbilical cord.
Yeah. He's gonna be like,
You
"What
need
did
to
I
eat it to join the family, or something.
Hey, so I'm going to vote right now for a part 2, dude. This is way too
Yeah.
good to just hard stop on this. Brandon, you be good coming back for a part 2?
Hell yeah, man. I vibe with you guys. man.
Yes,
I can-
sir. No,
Yeah.
let me just say, dig a hole, put an umbilical cord, plant tree, cover hole, and then the nutrients from her life, from her parents, both of us, grows into this hopefully ginormous tree one day, and then we could take her back and say that's literally your tree, made from you. That was
So
the plan.
we,
And I wish we did it 11 years ago, because that son of a bitch would be got some hype to it by now. But
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. A lot of people do it. I did it with my dad's ashes when he passed away. Took some and planted a maple tree. So it's if I get in a stressful situation or I need solo time, I go hang out with that tree. So
yes,
Now,
sir.
I've seen that. Like that was like when I'm gonna say this in all seriousness. Then I'm gonna ask something that is not a joke, but it's gonna come off as one. But no, because after my dad passed, he got cremated, and I have his ashes in my room actually. And Because my sister, because she was like, no, take him, I can't, because she lived with him like right before he passed, or whatever. So anyway, I was like, that would be cool to like, because you know, put it in a tree or whatever. Because that's how, you know, I would do that as well. Well, depending on what my kids wanted to do, because my dad was so frugal to where he was like, it would be more cost effective when I die to get cremated. And I'm like, okay, but what if we want to have you know have all your people come and see you? His response was, they've been knowing me. So I was like, all right. This is like literally he's dying. Like he's on his deathbed. Wait, before we go, I have to tell you really oh shit, I forgot.
Bring it, man. We're no rush.
You
it's
got
all
5
good.
minutes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, we're good.
I still got one final question to ask you anyway, man. We're good.
Okay, so when my dad died, I was still living in Vegas, right? And I worked at this restaurant. I'm not gonna say the restaurant's name, no shout out, but me and the owner, we kind of had a back and forth thing. This motherfucker, he was from the Middle East. I'm not gonna say specifically where, but very penny pinching. I run you, you don't run me. But you bring me money and I'll give you more money, and then shiesty on the back and forth for about 5 years. Me and this guy. But I was the manager of the restaurant, and he did some crazy stuff, you know. But anyway, moral to the story. Back to my dad. So we had a regular. Let's say her name is M. I'll do that because I know her real name.
Mariah Carey.
But,
okay.
Yes. So Mariah would come in very frequently. She became a regular, and every time she super fit, would come in early in the morning. She would get the same thing. I still remember her order. It would be mushrooms, egg whites, grilled peppers with oil, not butter, and English muffin with no butter or oil.
Not Mariah Carey. Okay.
So yeah, definitely not Mariah Carey. So she would come in and then like, you know, B, what's up? Blah, blah, give me a hug. And I'm like, the whole time she was coming in though, I'm like, she was a good looking lady. And I'm like, damn, I know her from somewhere. I never could place it because I'm just running around the whole time. It was a small breakfast restaurant, but we were busy from the times I would unlock the door from 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. Sometimes after 3 p.m. We just have a line and we have to get it out. Like I'm tipping people out. Like some of my servers are making like shit like $1,000 a week, and you got these kids that are working, that's good. That's like $48,000 a fucking year. So anyway, so I'm asking the owner's like, oh, you don't know who she is? And I'm like, no. I was like, I do. Like, Mariah's great. So, you know, because he's like, well, what y'all got going on? Because I know her. And I'm like, not shit. Like, I'm hugging everybody, kissing babies like I'm running for fucking office. Anyway, long story short, one day she comes in, I got a call on a Monday, and it was from my sister. She was like, Dad just went to the hospital. They said that he's not leaving the hospital. He doesn't know that yet, but he's too far gone because he was septic. He was just really sick. So I'm like, she's like, he said, but he's so stubborn, he didn't want to be on the machine. So he told my sister, I'm like, no pressure on me because I'm the oldest, whatever. Yeah, I'll stay on this machine until Brandon can get here. Okay. So, but I know who I work for, and he's kind of, I'm like, dude, my dad is about to die. I got to get out of here. And he was like, okay, you can have time off, you know, whatever. And so now I'm like looking at my bank account. I'm like, I'm looking at flights. Like the cheapest flight just to fly out the next day from Vegas back to Little Rock was like $900. I don't have that just to throw because I just paid rent. So I'm just like, let me get through this day. I'll figure it out when I get home. Mariah, is in the restaurant at the time, and she's like, B, what's going on? I'm like, man, so I kind of tell her the stories like I got to get home. My dad's not doing well. He's sick. He's possibly about to die, and I just got to get home. Where's home? Little Rock, Arkansas. And she was like, let me see your phone real quick. And I'm not thinking because I literally have 3 checks in my hand. I'm really running around the restaurant. We're short that day. Hand her my phone. I come back to her. She hands me the phone. She was like, this is on me. I've gone through something like this before. Got me a flight to Little Rock the next day so I could go basically.
Oh, shit, dude.
Oh, wait. Basically go hold my dad's body as he dies, which sounds great if you're fucking watching a movie or reading a book, but that shit is fucking terrible.
Dude, it's awful.
It lasted for an hour. As soon as I got there and we hugged and kissed it out and all the good stuff, cried and boo-hooed and talked about a couple things, he goes, I'm ready. And it's just me, him, and my sister, and literally, and it's during COVID. So when he did actually pass, I had to help move his body with the only nurse that was on that floor. So it's fucked up. But here's the comic relief. Mariah, who was a regular that I knew, but I didn't know how, turns out to be, I'm just going to say the name, the stage name anyway, Phoenix Marie.
The wrestler.
No, not she wrestles, but she's not a wrestler.
The porn star.
No, I know.
Oh.
I was
Excuse me for 1 second.
little,
Excuse me. Hold on. Excuse me.
PC there, but apparently that just pushed right out.
Oh man! So going back to dad stuff, dude. My dad passed away in 2019. Same thing. He was septic, and like the movies, it's like a 5-minute montage of, boom. It's sad. It's done. Let's get the hell out of here. It was a fucking 2-3 day ordeal of my sisters and I sitting there just like watching the poor guy. It's like, fuck me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
for me, I got a phone call at 1 o'clock. For me, I got a phone call at 1 a.m. saying, "Hey, you need to get to the house." And they lived about 10 minutes away, so 100 miles an hour over to the house. I walk in. My dad's hooked up to a bunch of machines on the couch. I walk in. My dad looks at me and goes, "Jesse," and then drops dead.
Damn.
And then it's sat there with the paramedics. I was the oldest, and so 45 minutes later, had to ask him to stop because at that point there was no reviving.
So we're all members of the DDC.
All right, so now we need like
the Dead Dad Club.
To some like happiness,
right? We're getting out of that.
The happiness is that Phoenix got me home.
Yeah. Did you see Phoenix afterwards?
No, that's the thing. I was never, and I have not. I tried to message her on Instagram, which seems crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because I never addressed her as knowing who she was like that. I think she might have just assumed that I knew and I was just being nice, but I really never put 2 and 2 together. It's not like I'm every night because I'm fucking hoes. I'm not sitting around just watching porn all the time. But my thing is, I'm just being real. I'm like, oh, damn, I know her. I know I've seen her somewhere. And I did try to message her. She never got back with me, but I know it's probably because she's like, I'm not going to look at this account. I get 1 million messages a day, but I was never able to just say thank you or give her a hug because right when I got back, shit into this story, I get back. The owner is mad because I took too much time off. And then I came in one morning, or the morning after I got back, I'm hungover, but I can do my job. And, he goes, I can smell it on you. You need to get out of here. But this is the same guy who went to jail that I covered for 30 days and ran the restaurant by myself and worked tirelessly for 30 days for 12 hours a day to make sure everything was done. Everything from, you know what? I'm not going to get back into that. I'm not going to deal in negativity tonight.
That's great. All right. Then on that note, the final question today for you, Mr. Brandon Nelson from The Challenge, who's been a kick-ass guest, man. You are amazing. And Jesse ain't kidding, man. We got to do a part 2. Maybe we can call it the Dead Dad Club cast part 2 or something. You know what I mean? And we can get all sad on that episode. But all right. If you could impart one piece of advice to any new dad or soon-to-be dad, from your perspective, what's that advice going to be?
Any new dad or soon-to-be dad? I think that's a 2-parter because you gave me kind of a hyphen in there.
I think we should start part 2 with this question.
Yeah,
give him some time to think about it.
Knowing us and our track record, part 2 could be a year from now. Nope, he's answering. Let's go.
No, I'm gonna set it up. Like as soon as we get off here, I'm gonna hit you up and we'll get it set up for like a week or so.
Yeah, no, I got you. No, but okay. So soon to be dad, and you said future dad. So future dad, be absolutely 100% confident in who you are having a child with, because that is going to move forward everything for yourself and the woman you're having a child with, and more importantly, the child. But you have to be selfish. You can't be, okay, I'm going to leave you with this, and then we'll get to the soon-to-be dad, because that baby's already in there, if I'm alluding to the right way of saying that question. But for the future dad, that you just think you want to have kids, make sure it's the right one, that you can never be 100%, but be 100% in your mind and in your heart, and that you're going to fight tooth and nail to make sure that you're going to try and make it work for the child, because you have to. But more importantly, selfish is not a bad word. you have to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else. So anything that you're going through at the time that you can't contribute to make that thing work the right way, just
love it.
Give yourself an audit. Give yourself a little self-check before you go into that world, man, because, yeah.
Yes, sir. All right. Good advice. All right, dude, you guys, it's really hot where we're at, and I'm in my studio, which, as we know, now we're back in summer. It's hot. This thing's thawing out, and it stinks. Just throwing that. I got to put this son bitch back in a freezer quick.
Get us out. Hey, Nick, can you hit Brandon with my contact information? I have actually got to log into a city council member.
Yeah.
So I've got to log in.
30 seconds, Jesse, is all I need from you. 30 more seconds.
Yep, let's do it.
Brandon Nelson, thank you so much for coming on Dadcast. You've been amazing. Can't wait for part 2. Go Raiders, go Cowboys. To everyone else watching this worldwide, wherever you may be and however you may be watching and listening, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do all the things, and we'll catch you on the very next episode of Dadcast. Have a great rest of your night, day. See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.